Greetings, YouTube. Happy Saturday. You know, we have been in discussions since 24 hours ago because so much has changed in the game. And I think, I've asked a variety of people what their reactions are. And yes, there is no doubt that the announcements that Kabam made yesterday did not appease a section of the community. And that is a section of the community that continues to say that the RNG of crystals is too random and frustrating, and even Nexus crystals aren't available enough. And even when they are, you have people who have never had a good experience with the Nexus crystal where they've been burned and get 3 fairly average or trash champions, or at least champions that, maybe you'll be thankful for that 5-star Yondu, but you're not going to rank up that Yondu like you would a Warlock or a Ghost, for example, of the same class. So we have some frustration still, and Kabam knows that that is going to need to be addressed. But there's a mystery involved regarding one area of the game that we've talked about on this channel for well over a year now, and that is, will the change in discouraging this black market of treasury dumpers in terms of resources, will this discourage them from running bots that somehow get around the bot detection software that Kabam continues to do their best to improve upon? And to their credit, we have seen them improve upon it in 2020. Because if that's the case in the arena, we are going to potentially, and I say this keyword is potentially, this could be the case, but it's a large discussion going on behind the scenes, at least from what I've heard from people in the last day or so. It could have a positive impact on arena scores, and it could have a positive impact on the average summoner that does not have a chance to compete with robots, a better chance to actually get a champion that they're targeting. What I also think this is leading to, and so that's part one of this discussion. I have no idea what I'm going to title this video. But part two of the discussion is, okay, so we know that now you can use units to get these alliance tickets, and you can obviously use your resources as well, your loyalty, your gold, your battle chips. But what I've heard from people is that this actually gives them more of an incentive to jump into the arena until they remember quite quickly how much they hate the arena. So the question we have to ask ourselves as a community going forward is, how do we improve the arena to get more people inspired to actually jump in it, while also making sure that it's done fairly? Those are two different issues, right? Cut out the cheaters, reward players who can use arena rewards to purchase their tickets for Map 6 and Map 7 of Alliance Quest. I want to remind you that in around December, now yearly, when you have the special arenas that target multiple champions at once, where you get to choose the champion that you're targeting, a couple things happen. One, it kind of reminds me of a Nexus crystal, right? You have a few options that you can choose. I wish Kabam would do that year round. We have so many champions now in the contest that having 2 or 3 champions you can grind for and choose from does help give certain summoners that extra added incentive to grind. But the biggest complaint I still have with the arena, and I do this every week, right? Every day of every week, is that yes, rank rewards can be updated, and I think the top 1 to 10% of the 5-star featured 200 6-star shards is so pathetic at this point. I think it needs to at least be more than double the 500 6-star shards. And I think the 5-star shards need to go to 5,000. I think you need a half of a 5-star crystal. So what that would give you is 1,000 6-star shards per week if you run both cycles of the arena, and a fully formed 5-star crystal, which, let's be real, for most people is going to result in just another 550 6-star shards if you're lucky and get a max sig ability crystal, but most likely it's just going to result in another 275 6-star shards because you'll dupe a 5-star champion leading the total amount of 6-star shards gained per week to be 1,275. If you multiply that times 4, you're going to get close to half of a 6-star per month if you grind the 5-star featured arena every day. In addition to that, I just don't get why Kabam thinks that at this point in the game, premium hero crystal shards matter to people. I get why I open them. Gold and ISO. And if you're lucky, 4-star crystals, or 4-star champions within the crystal, I should say, which gets you not only more ISO, but 5-star shards. But 5-star shards are also not things that in-game players even care about much anymore. I hear from several people who say, Prof, I love the idea of incursions, but why would I spend an hour grinding for 5-star shards? I don't care about them anymore. So you've got to update this drastically. And I don't know how Kabam does it server-wise for progression, because sure, maybe even uncollected people should see different rewards than Cavalier. I don't think the hope that some people have when they contact me that these will turn into Cavalier shards would ever happen, because I don't think that, quite frankly, they want players to get the easy opportunity for free 6-star champions, which would happen even if the drop rates were just 1% like they are in regular Cavalier crystals. But regardless, these things need to at least be updated to what they were in these special December arenas, and that is Grandmaster Crystal Shards. Make these things the better versions of premiums, where the worst you can do is a 3-star, and if you're lucky, you'll get a 5-star, and if you're somewhat lucky, you'll get a 4-star. I'm not saying that that's the perfect solution. I still don't think that that solves the issue, but at least it improves it. It improves it, right? And on top of that, I do think, particularly with some of these smaller arenas like the 2-star and the 3-star, if you give the player a choice to auto fight, even if the champion that you're fighting, the defender, is of a similar rank, like I'll bring in a 935 PI 2-star, and they'll fight a 750 PI 2-star, for example. If I auto fight that fight, that's not guaranteed. If I'm willing to risk my streak on auto fight, then I deserve the consequences. Same with the 3-star. And maybe you want to just start out by excluding the auto fight option to those basic beginner arenas. But at the same time, I think it would help. And I think it would help encourage people to take their 2- and 3-star champions to max rank, because they know the higher PI of those smaller star champions, the better chance they have to win the auto fight. So far, let's just discuss what we've recapped. We are going to take out premium shards, especially for the 5-star featured arena, right? And you're going to replace them with, at minimum, Grandmaster shards, which they've already shown they'll do in the past, and then turn on an auto fight setting for the Summoner Trials and the 3-star featured arena. And maybe the 4-star basic? I can see that. Now, when it comes to the featured arena, especially since 5-stars now are really a sign of the times in the past for so many summoners at this point, especially if you're somebody who is 100% completed Act 6 and or the Abyss, and you mainly are thinking about what it's going to take in the future to take your 6 stars to rank 4 and leave those 565 5-stars in the dust, or so it feels like. Keep in mind, when it comes to the rank rewards of the 4-star featured arena, you have ranks 2 to 800 that get the featured champion. 800. Compare that to the 5-star featured, which is from 800 in the 4-star to, yes, 150. Now, I'm not saying that it should be 800 for this, but I do think there is a compromise that helps lower the overall score to get the champion while also leaving the integrity of the grind. I believe that this should be moved to, at minimum, 300 and maximum 400. The top 3 to 400 people getting the champion. That still makes it twice as difficult as the 4-star featured, while also giving more people the chance and the motivation to grind. I also think 400 6-star shards, once again, pretty pathetic. I would move this up to 1,000 6-star shards. And the number 1 spot, I put this at least 2,000, if not even higher. if Kabam wants people to truly be thirsty for getting that top spot. These are not radical suggestions, but these are things that will help. Lastly, I know it's an algorithm, but if you want people, especially your average summoner that Kabam's trying to encourage to jump into the arena that don't have the craziest rosters, you've got to figure out a way to get rid of these deathmatch triggers, because not enough average summoners have the roster to only use rank 3 and above 5 stars or rank 5 4 stars. And so I just hear horror story after horror story of people who finally jump back into the arena and they're triggering a deathmatch with their rank 4 4 stars, for example, and they just quit. It's just infuriating. So they've got to figure out a way to get rid of death matches. And I also think it's total BS that arenas can trigger synergies. When you're fighting Heimdall's synergy, which always seems to occur, especially in some of those death matches, you're just setting yourself up to be killed by a special 3, because you're not supposed to train yourself to remember, oh yeah, I can't keep the combo because they're going to get down to 1% health, and then I'm going to think they're knocked out, but they're actually going to stay alive because of that cheat death synergy, and then when they cheat the death, they're going to fire off a special 3. I've died so often to that, and yes, maybe it's my fault for not remembering that I'm fighting a Heimdall team, but at the same time, if you can't use synergies on Alliance War defense, then what's the point of facing synergies on offense? And if we have to, as players, sacrifice having the synergy bonuses in the offensive side of Arena in order to eliminate the BS on the defensive side, I think that's a fair trade-off at this point. So that is how I would improve the Arena. I know that these are only a small amount of suggestions, but at the same time, I do think it's a good starting point for a discussion, and I don't want this video to be anywhere close to 20 minutes. Once I get to around 10 minutes, I start getting uncomfortable that I've gone too long. So I'm going to end this here and say, what else would you like to see changed to the Arena besides better rewards, more people getting the 5-star featured, and the potential for auto fight, especially at the lower end of the spectrum? Comment below, let me know. And as always, thanks for watching and supporting the Marvel Contest of Champions YouTube channel.